President Trump makes a surprise announcement during his State of the Union address.
Eyewitness News reporter Jan Carabeo is live in our news center with more on that and other big takeaways from last night's speech. Jan, good morning.
Rahel and Jim, good morning. President Trump outlined his agenda last night in a speech that lasted about 90 minutes. A couple of priorities include criminal justice reform and, of course, immigration. Now, the president stopped short of declaring a national emergency to build his wall, but lawmakers now have just 9 days to strike a deal on border security before another partial government shutdown.
The state of our union is strong.
President Trump urged unity in his second State of the Union address last night.
Victory is not winning for our party. Victory is winning for our country.
Facing a divided Congress, the president warned Democrats not to let partisan investigations hamper U.S. prosperity.
If there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation.
The biggest applause of the night highlighted one of the biggest changes in Washington.
More women serving in Congress than at any time before.
And most of them are part of the newly empowered Democratic majority in the House. Many Democrats in the chamber wore white in support. But there weren't many cheers from the Democrats as President Trump renewed his demands for a southern border wall.
Simply put, walls work and walls save lives.
This was Madeleine Dean's first State of the Union address as a congresswoman. The Democrat represents Pennsylvania's 4th District.
I was really disappointed with the fear-mongering that went on in terms of the discussion of the border and the misinformation that Democrats are not interested in border security.
President Trump also announced he'll meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam at the end of this month. Now, the president did draw applause from both sides of the aisle last night when he mentioned new efforts to lower prescription drug costs, fight childhood cancer, and end the HIV epidemic. Live in the news center, Jan Carabeo, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. Jim Rahel, back into you.
All right, Jan, thank you.